Hi guys, I'm Randy from campingandfishingcalifornia.com. Today I want to show you a little bit about Robinson Creek Campground, south especially where we like to camp a lot, but also the north campground. So stay tuned and I'll show you a little bit about where we love to camp and fish. Well, here just off the road between Bridgeport and Mono Village, you can see the mountains on the backside of Yosemite. Those mountains are only about 10, maybe 15 miles, I'd say, northeast of Yosemite. And you can see here the overflow parking lot for Robinson Creek North and South campgrounds. And here you can see the entrance to it. You can see that we're surrounded and covered in pine trees, and it just makes for the most awesome camping experience and fishing, as I will show you momentarily. Now this is the entrance to Robinson Creek South, but if you turn left and you go here, this is Robinson Creek North. Robinson Creek North is primarily first come first serve, but there are some reservable sites in there also, and I'll show you a few of that. A few of those. But here in Robinson Creek South, these sites are all reservable, and I don't think there's any first come first serves in here. And here you can see the Robinson Creek coming north out of Paha Campground, which is just about a half mile up creek. First thing I want to show you is this little body of water right here. That area above all those fallen tree branches and trunks and things and limbs used to have a ton of fish in them. We'd be able to come out here and see 15, 20, 25 nice little torpedoes in there. But they were hard to catch because we were always out here in the middle of the day, but I've seen those things just come out of that water like crazy. But this year, like I was saying, we're in the latter part of June, and so the water's a lot higher. We're still getting a lot of runoff from the hills up there, and so this water is higher and it's swifter, as you'll see in other parts of this campground. So that water comes down and wraps around. It actually splits back there by those trunks, and you can see how it comes back together right here. But right where you see that big large log there across and the water going under that branch that comes out, wow, that is just killer for trout. I've got some nice trout out of that little body there. But this is the first campsite here. It's number 2. Of course the host has number 1, and that is the host right back here that you see. That's Mike, and this year it's Mike and Sharon, and these guys are awesome. So let's go ahead and get down here on this loop. And this is just a small loop. You can see the sites here that are vacant now, but earlier this morning these were all filled up with campers. So now we're down the hill from site 2 and 3 right there, and you can see the water out there. And here's site number 4 under these trees. Now we've never been in site 4, but we have been in this next one where the tents are, and it's nice because you're backed up to that water there, and you have access to the where it does that dog leg or that left turn there, and you've got access to all that. And right there where that big trunk is over there coming down, I usually cross the water right here to go to that first spot that I showed you where all those torpedoes usually are hanging out. Oh my goodness, man, it's a quick jaunt right across that little meadow there that you can see to those torpedoes over there. But you can see this site is heavily covered. Now it's not that good for solar if you have a solar panel on the top of your rig, but if you have that portable Renogy 100 that I tell you about, wow, it's awesome. This is a crazy good site. Now this little site here, 7, is really small. There's not much to it. A little area where you can put a tent back there. You can put a really small rig right here, and I've seen a lot of them in here. But you do have all of that beautiful water back there. Let me go show you that water. By the way, this is site 8, and it's right along the road. There's not much you can do here, but you can see there is a tent pad up there. So I think they've closed this. Yeah, it's tent only now. So, but look at this water over here on this other side. If you see that big old trunk over there, let me see if I can get you dialed into that trunk over there. That big trunk over there, oh my goodness. The wizard Jim, he and I have fished this, and I've seen Jim pull so many biggies out of that all along here. All these little trunks and little areas that hide trout real well. I've seen him just kill them. But look at this whitewater down here. Now, it's not normally this high, so there's a lot more whitewater than normal, but it goes into this crazy good fishing hole down here. And this hole is just awesome. Now, normally you don't have as many tree trunks falling, but I guess the last year, we didn't make it up last year, but apparently in the last 2 years they've had a lot of strong winds and high water that's knocked these trees down. But this has some great fish. I've gotten some good bites. A couple nights ago I was fishing this, and we got some nice little hits out of here. So let me take you down around the corner. By the way, on this other side of the road, you can see there's 2 campsites, and they're not bad, partially in the shade, partially in the sun. They're across from the tanners, who may get a little noisy once in a while, but this is really calm down here. This is a really awesome loop to be camping in. And here's the tent area. It's really well laid out, a lot of shade. The sites are nice, they're even. You don't have to rake them much to get them level. It's just a great area to be tent camping in if you like to tent camp. Now you can see that fallen log or that fallen tree, and you can see what a awesome area that would be. See, it's not that deep right here, so you can wade out. You may get down to just above your knees here, but you can wade out and hit all those little areas below those branches. The shade's starting to hit now. Another hour or so, you'll have some great shade there. Down here along this, let me see if I can get a better angle here. Along this log, there's some great opportunities. In fact, I'm going to go over there and show you where there's some really good fish hangouts over there. Right here, we're behind that log we were just showing you. But this area right here, normally when there's some shade, you'll see about 5 or 6 tails there. And they're pretty decent sized fish. Not torpedoes, not the big 16, 17, or 18 or 20 inches, but usually there's some like 12 or 13 inch trout right in here, about 4 or 5 of them. So now you can see that log up there where we were just behind right there. And this area down here in August, a little bit later, the water is a little bit lower, and the channels are more defined. But if you can see this trunk right here, just to the right of it right there, there's a nice little channel. And we usually, when we're here a little bit later, we fish this, and you can nail probably 5, 6 of them in about an hour's time right there. Just an awesome place to fish. But right across from it are some nice little rapids where you can catch some nice ones too. And then coming down right here, these rocks are always nice too. Now when it gets a little more shaded here, you'll be able to see some tails swimming down there, and you can usually catch a couple nice ones right in through these rocks right here. So let me show you another area, and that is that right there, but let's get closer to it. So now you'll see that area over underneath that tree, all that nice water right there. There's a little channel that goes right along that bank right there, a nice little channel, and there's usually 3 or 4 really nice ones in there. I've gotten some nice 14, 15, 16 inches out of that area there. And I usually just get in the water here, walk across this bar, and stand right there on the edge of that bar and just lob it out nice and easy. Maybe trout, maybe some salmon eggs, maybe a little power bait or something like that. But oh, you can usually just nail them rich. But if they don't bite in that channel right there, let me show you where they do bite. Right here, if you let your line just come across and go to the other side and go right down the side, the left side here, this is just sweet. I've gotten 2 or 3 really nice ones here. And these logs, these trees that are across now, they weren't here last time I was here. The small one was, but not the large one. But even on the other side of this small one here, you can get some nice little hits. Let me take you down below that. So here's the small one that's usually here, or that's been here the years that we've come. And you can see that's a very nice little area to toss in. Maybe use 2 weights, I'm not sure. I usually use 1. And if I don't get anything on one, I'll do like the wizard tells me and just put another one on. But this large tree here wasn't here last time we were here. So I haven't fished it since this tree has been here that much. I fished it, we fished it this past week, maybe 2 times without any luck. And this tree here though, I want to show you this. Now, when the water's a little bit lower, or even now for that matter, you can walk across and get over on that bar over there, right there, and then just take and throw your salmon eggs or some power bait out and let it just drift down alongside that tree. And sometimes you can get some really, really great hits. Now let me take you to another area that's pretty good too. So now we're just a bit around the corner from that last log that we were looking at. This big old trunk here has been here for years, and when the shades hit, when the shadows hit later on in the afternoon, oh my goodness, that is some kind of wonderful. But the problem with it is you can get hung up and lose your bait a lot. But on the back side, if you can wade across and get on the back side, there's a bit of a pool over there, and oh, it is sweet. So this is another really, really great area. I've seen a lot of fly fishermen in here also because of the width and the ability to cast and not get hung up overhead. So this, again, like I said, is a pretty awesome area here. And now we're down just a little bit from where we were before, but I wanted to show you this log. Oh my goodness. Last time we were here, Patty and I came down there and had some competition between us. She used the bee lure and I used salmon eggs, and I would toss it over and just hit the large trunk right there, toss my salmon eggs over there, hit that, let it drop into the water. Oh my goodness. Patty and I had one crazy bout of competition here because they just would not stop biting. Now this year the water's a little higher, and the log there is a little bit more submerged, but normally it's not. Normally the water comes down and around that, and it creates a nice little area right here to nail a few, and just on the other side of that log. Now we're a little farther down creek than where we were. In fact, in the background you can still see that tree where we were just talking about that competition. But all I want to tell you about this is, oh my goodness, does it get more beautiful than this or what? And if you like to get in the water and you like to walk over to areas and just kind of lob your line in, this is incredible fishing right here. So now you can see up there where we started, where all the loops teed off up there in spot number 2. And this is the loop that we have camped on quite a bit. In fact, this space right here, number 21, is pretty decent. It's level, everything's close by. You got your table, you got your fire pit, your bear box, and you've got some awesome shots of the water there. And you'll also notice that rig right there. That's pretty familiar, huh? So this year we're parked here in 22, and we kind of like it. Let me show you what it looks like down, as if you haven't seen it yet. One of the reasons that we're parked here is because of just this. This is a great fishing hole. Normally when they plant, they'll bring 2 or 3 nets and they'll plant right here. And we love just sitting here fishing. Only we're not sitting here fishing today. We're just sitting out enjoying the scenery. Hi, Mrs. S. How are you? Oh, there's Lily and there's the Soapy dog. We're all sitting outside enjoying the shade. So let's continue on. Let me show you some more. Our loop is, like I said, a really small one. Here you can see some sites. That's site 23, and we really like that site. Here's a bit smaller site. You can get some smaller stuff in. And again, another one up here. Also, just a quick note about some deer. This area here is a small, little tiny grassy area behind the host for Robinson South, and then over there the host for, or down a little ways, is the host for Robinson North. And this is a meadow where a mama deer always seems to park her young. And at night when you're walking your dog, you have to be very careful if you're walking your dog up this area, because that mama deer will appear out of nowhere and she'll start chasing your dogs. And we've had a few instances where she went after Kaylee, if you guys remember Kaylee. So this is the road that goes to Robinson North, and this area is predominantly first come first serve, but there are some reservable sites here that are pretty awesome, and I'll show you a few of those. So you can see along this road that we've been walking on, there's a lot of nice little sites here, some shaded, some not so shaded. There's the camp host for Robinson North, and if you look out here, you can see that there's a loop there, and it's only got, well, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 sites in it, but they're nice sites, and you can get some pretty good sized rigs in here, and there's quite a bit of shade in here. So we'll take a look at that as we make our way home. So now we're entering that last big loop, and these are pretty much first come first serve, and they are some really nice sites. You can see the size of these sites. Look at the size of the units that are in here. And by the way, you know, if you're familiar at all with Robinson Creek North, you'll recognize that as B. That's B's rig, B and Jerry. And I don't know if they're around right now, but that's the infamous beef that you get from the bee lure that we told you about, and that's their rig right there. And they have a really great site. So all along here, these sites are all along the creek. And I'll show you, and this is 39, another really great site. Look how much shade there is right here. You can get a pretty good sized rig in here. But see, there's the water down there. Again, a lot of these sites are along this water. But in 42, that's where we started. And at that time, we had the hybrid. And you guys have seen plenty of pictures of the hybrid and even some videos of it. But this site here, 42, is nice for smaller units. But if you want to be here in the first come first serve area and you want a nice corner pocket, 43 is awesome. And we've been in that one a few times. In fact, that's the one that a bear visited us right after we got back from, just hours after we got back from our trip to Seattle. So these are all the sites down here, and this is a pull-through area here, which is nice because it's not very far from the water. If you want to take and just stretch out a hose and get water, it's right around the corner there. But I wanted to show you this over here too. This is the other end of the Robinson Creek North campground water. It comes down here and it goes down there and goes kind of a dog leg to the right, and then it continues on for a mile down to Honeymoon. And Honeymoon is where you've heard and seen pictures of me and Jim and Tom and Maria all just getting some whoppers down there. So this is the end of all the water that's going through the Robinson Creek South and Robinson Creek North campgrounds. So let's work our way back to our rig. Now you guys have heard me talk so much about the Wizard, about Jim, my buddy, who I fish with, and this is the site that they always get here. They're not here this year because they have a bunch of different things going on, but this is the site that they always get. Yeah, that's site 49. And if you look down the road, there's the infamous Bee herself, Bee and Jerry. Let's go talk to these guys real quick. Right on. Hey guys, this is Bee and Jerry that we were talking to you about, and this is the infamous Bee and the guy that keeps her infamous. And this is where the bee lure came from, and all that stuff that we tell you about the bee lure and catching those whoppers. This is the original gal that caught those original whoppers. And the guy, and well, she will be too when we all get back in August, when we actually have some fish in the water. But this is, I just wanted to introduce you guys to Bee and Jerry. Thanks for saying howdy, Bee. Thanks for saying howdy, Jerry. So after our little talk with Bee and Jerry, we're gonna head back to our loop and to the final loop that I had mentioned just a few minutes ago. And I'm going to take you down this loop and show you, because I love some of the sites in this loop. Now this loop does have some reservable sites in it, but this one over here is under some big oak trees. It's really nice, but this one here, it's kind of a short platform, so it's a little tougher getting your rig up on it and getting it leveled out. But this little area down here is like this one over here, where you have a nice long drive to park in, and this one here is a little bit more easier to level. You can see that it's a little bit longer than the previous one over here, but it's reserved, or it's not reservable. It's looks like it's first come first served too, or maybe is reservable. It might be reservable. But this is a really nice site. But our favorite one up here is this site here, 35. And the reason why is because right across the way in our loop, you can have a friend camp over there, and you can be right across the way and have all of that area there to enjoy each other's company and fellowship and to hang out in. So we really like 35, and it is a reservable site. So that's it for our tour of Robinson Creek South, Robinson Creek North. And let me show you again that the creek is right down below you. Great fishing area. Right over there is our campground. And you can see some kids, or our campsite, you can see some kids over there petting Lily and Sophie. And down here is some great fishing area. And I'll show you one more little fishing thing down here in just a second. Again, this is where they plant fish. A lot of times they'll put 2 or 3 scoops in, but right here along this area where you see that white water out there a little ways, oh my goodness, man, along through this brush when the water's down, you can go underneath this brush and just get some nice hits. So and also if you can wade over and fish on the other side of the stream, that's where Jim the Wizard got me going. When he first started teaching me about the Robinson, we went upstream just a hair up there and crossed it, and then fished it all the way down on that side there, and oh my goodness, it was incredible. So if you like to wade in the water, if you like to cross the stream here, here at the Robinson, there's a lot of great fishing on the opposite side of the creek. So again, I'm Randy from campingandfishingcalifornia.com. Folks, I appreciate you being with me. Hope you enjoyed this tour of Robinson Creek Campground, north and south.